I'm going to talk about neuroscience, which I think is probably the best science in the world. It's exciting, it's interesting, it's fast changing, and it's got the potential to tell us amazing things about who we are and indeed what we are. So to try and get a handle on some of this, you need to think about the kind of ways we think about the brain. So first of all, there's this idea of levels of understanding, levels of analysis. That's really important. So you can start, for example, the highest level would be the social level, the social brain. And social neuroscience has really, again, taken off with the development of neuroimaging. Neuroimaging, of course, allows you to see inside living brains without damaging them. And so that gives you a chance to study people in a much more naturalistic way than when you've just got a brain on a platform and you're chopping it to pieces. So neuroimaging has really helped these high-level sciences to take off, this idea of putting brains in realistic situations and seeing what they do. So you can do the social level, that's the interpersonal level, or you can look at the whole brain. You can use something like a MEG scanner, for example, to study the electromagnetic changes as a brain, for example, sees a picture, or hears a sound, or behaves in a certain way. If you go down another level, you get to the regional level. So you're thinking about the different cortices, how they interact. Maybe the parietal cortex talking to the prefrontal cortex. You're looking at circuits, you're looking at systems. So that's systems neuroscience. If you're interested in that in terms of human behaviour, you can call it cognitive neuroscience, and you can think about how memory works, how short-term memory works, that sort of thing. So that's all happening at the level of interactions between large chunks of the brain talking to each other. Go down again, and you're getting down to the level of individual circuits and individual cells. So that might be drawing on a lot of detailed neuroanatomical work, because all of this was done long ago, trying to cut these brains to pieces, see what went where, see what the layers of cortex looked like, and all the rest of it. So this is kind of a lot of it's done using things like electrophysiology and nowadays optogenetics, but it tries to understand what's talking to what these cells are like, why they are the shape they are, who's connected to who, and what the processes are that get you from the miracle of something coming into your visual cortex and the magic that happens all the way through to produce a movement of the eyes or a sound. So there's the circuit level, the cellular level, and then beyond that you can go down and really get into the mechanics, and this is where the biochemistry starts coming in. You can look at the interactions between, for example, neurons and the glial cells which surround neurons and were thought to be kind of like neuronal life support, but in fact have a much more complicated role. Or you can actually go into the cell and start examining how the cell's internal mechanics work. So you can look at, for example, how the cell regulates its cell membrane, or you can go deeper still and look at the genetics and do gene expression studies to see what cells are turning on which genes when, and so you can really start to piece together the very basic mechanisms. So all of those levels coexist within neuroscience. So you can take any one of those levels, and of course the hardest questions tend to be the ones where you're trying to stitch levels together, when you're trying to bridge the gap between the whole brain and the genetics, for example.